Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Thursday, July 11, 2024. I, of course, with Originator Success here with your daily mortgage rate update, the only place on the web where you guys get to join me live on Facebook or on YouTube each and every weekday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, talking about what's going on with mortgage rates and pricing. Today's going to be a fun conversation. We got a lot of good stuff going on. CPI data did deliver. In fact, it came in a little bit better than expected. We're going to talk about what that effect that has on mortgage rates today, rate sheets. What about in the future? Where do we go from here? There's a lot of important things we want to pick up on this. So today we're gonna be digging deep. You want to make sure you stick around for it. If you're watching on the replay, make sure you go ahead and put hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. Let Facebook know that you were here as well, whether you're here live or on the replay. Don't forget to smash that like button if you're on Facebook. Tag an LO friend. Take a minute. I know you know other LOs. Just tag them. Put them in the comments. Say, hey, watch this, right? I need you to do that. I want to start getting 100 people a day on this thing. I need you to spread the word. All right. So appreciate you doing that. Share this post in a group, put it in Mortgage Loan Officer Network. Brokers are better. It looks weird if I do it, but if you think it's good and you do it, that'll be awesome to let it go through. So do that for me if you don't mind. If you are on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, click the thumbs up and the notification bell and all that good stuff. Remember, you can sign up and get free email lock advice, www.ratelockadvice.com, to your inbox each and every weekday morning. You're welcome to use it any way you like. First and foremost, of course, it'll keep you posted, but you can also grab excerpts from it or share it whole or whatever you like. Take it and use it as your own. You don't have to give me any credit, but it'll give you something to get out there and stay in front of everybody with each and every day. Remember to sign up for our text alerts, www.ratetextalerts.com. They're $7 a month. You can't beat them. You should join them. Ron Siegler says that they will make your hair grow in thicker. Also, check us out if you want to get a text reminder when I go live each day. You can do that at hmmr.io/reminder or use the cool QR code here. And although I love talking about rates and pricing each and every day, at Originator Success, we actually help you get loans from Google and social media. We help set you up with online local presence, your Google business profile, your social profiles. We know how to optimize those so that you will come up and rank in your local market. Right now, there's not a ton of people that are going and out there getting loans, but it's increasing, right? People refinance, they go on the internet. They're buying a home, they go on the internet. If you want to start getting loans like that, definitely reach out and check us out, and we'll show you how we can help you to do that. We provide you with a website that actually converts. We help you to generate reviews. We keep you in front of people with awesome email campaigns, agents, past clients. Check us out at originatorssuccess.com. Get all the details. So let's say hi to the live folks, and we will dig in and talk about what's going on this morning with all of this cool stuff and where we are at. So we got Megan Lindberg, first one to say hello. Good morning, Megan. Bobby Searson, hello, my friend. Ron Siegel, good morning. Ron said it's National Blueberry Muffin Day. I could go for a blueberry muffin. Mason Kurth, good morning. Tom Stafford, good morning. Mason says lock 'em, eh? And no, not lock 'em. Float 'em, baby. Float 'em. In fact, let me go ahead and pop that on the bottom. This is what we've been saying and what we've stick to, and I still say the same thing. So you don't want to be locking them yet, Mason. We have a really good outlook. Tom Stafford, good morning. Mike Brown, Brandy Brickler in caps, good morning. We got Mallory Fotiadis, Ron tagging LOs. Appreciate you, sir. John Melnick, Mike Tebow. Great to have all of you. And of course, Ron, thank you again for your kind words on our text service. Tom Demore, good morning. Steve Lacefield. All right. So let's go ahead and you got a 50% yesterday. You expected the headline to drop, but missed the mark on core. Happy to be wrong. Yeah, I figured there's about a 15% expectation that we would be there. So, all right, well, let's kind of give everybody up to date. So the CPI data did come in even better than expected. Yesterday in the written lock advice, I put out there that I thought it was like a 10 to 15% chance we'd beat expectations. Did not think we would actually do that. I figured it was about a 70% chance we'd hit expectations, and then about a 10 or 15% chance that we would end up worse, which was the outlier. The best of the best happened, though. We did go ahead and significantly improve inflation enough to beat expectations. All right. That means your rate sheets today are going to be better. Right now, mortgage-backed securities, they're currently improved about 30 basis points on the 6.0 coupon. Today, we're going to see some variation among the coupons. The 5.5 is up 42 basis points. The 6.5 up about 22 basis points. You're going to find the reason that you're seeing a lower on that 6.5 is because people are going to move towards the lower coupons now, right? So the 6.0 up 30 basis points on the day. That's going to put us pretty much where I said we should be, is about an eighth of a point improvement. Now, remember though, we are seeing a big jump in bonds, right? They've improved. However, lenders are generally a little bit slower to pass those gains along to the rate sheet. Why? Number one, they don't want to trigger their own float down policies. That is very common. It's not a bad thing. Remember, there's somebody's job is to make sure that the company makes profit. And there is a lot of money on the line when you are hedging. And hedging around big data like this can be very difficult and very risky. So if your lock department, if your secondary department, your lock desk was floating a lot of loans, they have more room to go ahead and to give better rate sheets today, because they don't have to, even if they go ahead and give you a float down or give you a better rate, it's not hurting them on the back end. What happens is if they have moved this loan along the line, though, you lock and then they lock it to the next level, to secondary, now they're on the hook for that loan. And they don't want to have to not be able to deliver at that price. If they give you a better price, they still have to deliver. So depending on how your lock desk went into this data, that's why you're going to see a lot of variation today amongst lenders, right? Especially on the wholesale side. The other thing is that wholesale lenders are going to, some of them are going to be more aggressive, and they'll risk float downs because they're also going to steal some loans that might get moved. A lot of brokers will lock a loan with lender A, and if we've seen a big rate drop, they will move to lender B. So, and that, I don't condone that, by the way, but a lot of people do it. They figure that that's their way of doing things. I'm not here to judge. So that's why you're going to see a lot of variation amongst lenders. You'll see variation amongst, wholesale and retail. Again, retail lenders especially, depends on how that lock desk is being managed, if they left themselves room for improvement. And a lot of them would have with the CPI report. So we should see a lot of it hit on the rate sheet. But will it be all of it? Probably not. And again, it's 35 basis points. I mean, it's not 100 basis points. So we are going to see a pretty good improvement. Reprice risk on the day is low, and mortgage bonds are off their best levels. They improved to about 50 something, 60 basis points at this coupon level. Again, I'll flash it up on the screen. We'll kind of go over that. You can see it right here at this candlestick. See this candlestick? In fact, let's go ahead. We will make this a 1 month so you can see it really clear. Take a look at this candlestick, and it has a very long wick. The wick is the tall, skinny part. This is the high point that the bonds were selling at, and then they dropped, and this is where they're at now. Now, the body, the thick part, remember they started here and improved on the day, and now they're up here. So they started down here at 100.68. They're currently at 101.05. That's an improvement of 35 basis points that you see here. But they also hit a high of 101.31. So there was about another 30 basis points, 27 basis points, 26 basis points here. That was actually the high point, and we've fallen back. Now, it's unlikely that we fall down from here. That's why reprice risk on the day is low, and it's not likely that we're going to see things that we have to worry about there. Now, what does this do for the outlook, and how do things change? The outlook for 2024, the worst is behind us, right? But improving from here is going to be slow and in spurts. We're not just going to see rates drop in huge levels. We're going to be moving down. I want to talk a little bit deeper about that in a minute. And it looks like we're going to see rates settle into a new range. Let's take a look at the technicals and kind of go a little bit deeper on that, right? So taking a look here at the technicals, let me go back to the 6-month chart to kind of break it in here. Okay, we have been, I'm going to go ahead and let me load up the screen capture software so I can grab this, right? So I'll show you, I'll take a picture, but in the meantime, remember, if I go back even further, let's go back to 1 year. Okay, this one is a little bit harder to see, but look at this improvement that we had in November. Okay, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so here's what I want to show you, right? This is mortgage bonds 6.0 coupon. This here is, it starts here in case you can't see it down at the bottom here. It says August, right? So we were August of 2023. Hold on, I'll take a picture in a minute. So we were at August of 2023, and rates had continued to get worse as we were heading into October. Down here, where mortgage bonds were at their lowest point, remember, it's an inverse relationship. The lower that mortgage bonds go, the higher mortgage rates go. When we have mortgage bonds improve in pricing, that helps mortgage rates to drop. So in October of 2023, that was our worst levels. This is when we saw rates that were up in the eights. Now, what happened is, as we were coming out of October, it became clear that the Fed was done hiking rates. And once markets prepared for that pivot, where they said the Fed is done hiking rates now, we don't have to worry about the Fed hiking rates anymore. What happened is that after that point, we then went down and we saw bonds really start to improve heading into December and all the way up through and barely just about January. Well, notice here, okay, so that's right here. See this right here? That was this high point where we were at. This is when rates really improved. Do y'all remember December of last year, how good rates were? Let me know in the comments. Good morning, Christopher Griffith, Nathan Einkorn, Deb Dickinson, Kim Mason, Bill Stevens, Jerry Avila. So do you guys remember how great rates were in December, and then rates started to get worse heading into the new year? Why did that happen? Well, the reason that happened, and this is important because this is why it's not going to happen this time. The reason this happened is because the inflation data in the first quarter started to come in worse than expected. It was coming in hotter. The economic data was coming in strong, and the labor market data was through the roof. Remember this one right here on April 11th. This was one of the CPI days right here where we just got totally hammered. The labor market data coming in on the Fridays here were totally beastly. We were seeing really, really bad stuff, and that pushed mortgage bonds back down. Now, we saw the worst levels here in April. Okay. That was our worst rates as we were pushing back up in April. And again, remember this CPI data that just came in crushing belief that things were going to improve. Well, we've kind of improved since then. And it's been an erratic ride. You can see, I'm going to move this to 6 months now. And you can see that from April, we've, gone up, and we tested here 100.78. Then it came down. Then we were up here, 100.69, 100.75, and it came down. Then we were over here, 100.75, over here, 100.79. All right. Now, this candlestick, I'm going to go to 3 months and really dig in. Take a look here. This 100.80-ish level it's really between 175, 100.75, 100.78, right? But we're going to call it 100.80 just to round it. Okay. 100.80 has been that mark in the sand. It has been, I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot so I can draw some arrows for us here. Okay. And I know many of you know this, but there's a lot of people today that won't know this. So I just want to go over this real quick. So this is our line in the sand right here. You can see this candlestick right here came up to touch it and fell below again. And then it dropped down. Then it came up and tested it again and fell below. Then it came up and tested it again. We even started the day here above it, but then broke below it. Look at these wicks. It tried here. It tried here. It started the day here and ended lower. All right. Right there was what was really trying. Then here again, it tested it again. Here it started there and fell down. Here it started and fell down. Okay. We have now broken above this. Now, I have to tell you, I don't love how skinny this wick is and how long this wick is. This is something I'm not overly loving. I'm just really kind of the scenario here, right? Because what we're really hoping to see, let me move this over so that there you go. Okay. So this, not really what I love, but if we can see mortgage bonds hold above this, and we should, this is going to reflect a new range. This is going to put rates into the high sixes for conventional conforming rather than the low sevens. But they're not going to go that much lower than that. And I told you that was going to be the case today. Even if we did see the improvement that we've seen, the best case scenario is a 1/4 point in rate And I don't even think we're going to see that. In fact, if any of you want to run about that, and then Ron said, so since we're definitely talking about it, let's throw it up on the screen. Ron said, curious about my thoughts. Bonds are up 32 bips. Do I think this is a typical overreaction to good news? No. The over, if you will, Ron, was the high point of the wick, right? Was when we were hitting up to these higher levels. That was the overreaction. This is the reaction. Now, let me tell you why I feel that way and where we're at on this. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna let me just move some stuff around here. I know this is kind of a little slower, but let me move. Come on, get that out of the way. All right, let me get this back to this, and I'm going to take this out. I want to show you guys this. I'm going to put this on the compare. So this is the CME, and let me zoom in on this so we can really get it big. So this is the CME data, right? And if we look at July, the expectation of a Fed rate cut in July today, this dark blue column, 93% expect will be at 5.25%. And there is no expectation of a Fed rate cut. Let me just move this over a little bit so you guys can. There you go. Okay. There is no expectation of a Fed rate cut. That has not changed. Yesterday it was 95. Today it's 94, 93, right? So markets still don't expect that we are going to see a July rate cut. However, let's go to September. Now, look at the move here, and let's go through this a little bit slower, right? The expectation a month ago, 46% expectation we'd see a September rate cut. The probability a week ago was up to about 70%. Yesterday, it was 70%. Today, 85%. So it is basically markets are pricing in a given now. And let me pop this. I've got this in my captions here. I talked about this. So, on the Fed watch, a July cut still off the table, but September cut is now a lock, right? So a July cut is off the table, but a September cut is basically a lock now. 85% expectation. November, though, look at the change here in November. November before, we were at a month ago, 20%, less than 20% expectation that we would see two cuts, meaning a cut in September and a cut in November. Then a week ago, it was 28%. Yesterday was 33%. Today, it's almost 50%. Markets are starting to price in. It's a coin flip now. 45% that will be at one rate cut in September and then pause. And right here is a coin flip that will see two rate cuts. Why is this such a big deal? Well, because this is markets feeling that the data is going to continue to show that the economy is weakening, that the labor market is weakening, and that inflation is cooling. All right. Markets are betting right now. Traders are betting on the idea that it's not going to be the Fed is going to do a September rate cut and then that things are kind of going to status quo and then they'll wait and do a December cut. What this is telling us is that markets believe that we are coming just like a roller coaster. We've gone over the other side. Now we're going to pick up speed going down the hill. What this is telling us is not that a recession is right around the corner, but that weakening is there and that the Fed is going to have to continue to take action. Once they make that first rate cut, they're going to have to keep cutting until they get the Fed funds rate down to what they call the neutral rate, probably in the high twos or low threes. That's what markets are currently looking at when we look at what this is doing. So, why is this important? Because as long as we see this, mortgage rates have the ability to improve in small increments. By December, markets are pricing in. Remember, look, a month ago, there was almost a 40% expectation that we would see one cut for the year. We're currently at 5.25. This would have brought us to 5. And there was less than a 13% expectation we would see 3 cuts. That expectation now, 40% that we will see 3 cuts. 44% that we will see 2 cuts, down to 10% that we would only see 1 rate cut. Markets are coin flipping that we are going to see 3 rate cuts this year. We have not seen 3 rate cuts back on the table in over a month. Now, Ron said, let's see what Ron has to say here. He said, remember, the Fed gave themselves cover for the November meeting. They pushed it back a day. So their meeting is a day after the election. Instead of Tuesday, Wednesday, the November meeting is Wednesday, Thursday. So yes, isn't that, that's a very good observation. So that it's not, if the announcement can't be used for any last minute political thing. the Ron said if the market is correct about the September cut, it would be only one cut before the election. Correct. And I know that there's a lot of people that think that the Fed is worried about the effects on politics, and I have to tell you, I really don't think they are. I think that Powell behind closed doors, he was asked at the testimony about Biden's mental state and everything else. They don't want to be a part of this. I don't think that they're really worried about whether the Democrats win or Trump wins, because there's pluses and minuses to both of those for the Fed. And I really don't think the Fed is trying to manipulate a political thing here. I know a lot of people throw it out there. I just don't see it myself. I don't think that they really care. I think that they are more focused on understanding that they are going to have a huge effect on this, and that they have to try to continue to weave this course that they have of getting where we're at with the soft landing. So anyway, just to make sure we touch base on it, the actual CPI data that came in, just to give you that, make sure that we've touched on that. Here were the actual numbers. Now, this is the month over month CPI headline number came in at 0.1%. This was the first time that we have seen actual deflation, negative inflation, not disinflation where inflation moves down, but actual deflation, negative inflation. The first time since the pandemic that we have had deflation. What is that, like close to 4 years now? Okay, so this is a big deal. Markets are watching this. It was an estimate to be plus 0.1%, came in at minus 0.1%. The core number came in at plus 1% and 0.1% and was estimated to be 0.2%. The year over year CPI headline was 3.0%, estimated to be 3.1%. And the core CPI was 3.3, estimated to be 3.4. All right. In my notes here, these are the smallest gains since April of 2021. The Fed, at Powell's remarks, he said he needed to see more proof. This is the proof that they need. Markets know this is the proof that they're looking for. This also shows that the first quarter was an anomaly. Remember, I showed you that mortgage rates moved higher in that first quarter. That was because of a increase in inflation, labor market coming in stronger than expected. That all looks like that was a blip, like it was an aberration, an anomaly. Okay. Now we're seeing labor market weakness, signs of the labor market weakening. We're seeing signs of cooling inflation. This is what the Fed needs to lower rates and for rates to come down all over the place. Now, the super core removes food, energy, and housing was down for the second straight month. And that's the first time that we have seen that happen since last fall. So this is kind of what I was saying, that we're picking up from where we were in December. And that's a big deal. This is a big deal. So remember when we had mortgage rates that went down and then came up again? We should not see that this time. This is very unlikely. What we're likely to see here is that mortgage rates are going to continue to move down in waves and in increments. Won't be a straight line. Of course, you get the normal flows and fluctuations, the ups and the downs, but the overall trend is we're likely to see, heading into 2025, we're likely to see conventional conforming rates that are in the lower sixes. I would say low to mid sixes, low sixes. Of course, you're going to be able to buy down into the fives. But for base rates, if you will, I don't think we're going to be able to see the fives. Not yet. But 2025 should bring us back down into the fives. What does this mean for the mortgage market? It means we're finally going to see a lot of things break down. We're going to see things improve for refinances. We're going to see people that have been handcuffed to properties. Right now, inventory's slowly been creeping up. That's going to reverse again. Once rates start to move down, we're going to see a reversal in that inventory issue. Home prices have been holding steady. Some markets have dropped more than others. Like my market, we haven't dropped at all. So that definitely depends. Ron said he's cynical. He thinks everyone involved in the government at that level is only concerned about keeping their job and their legacy. If they think they can get reappointed, they will do anything regardless of what is best for the people. I agree, Ron, but I don't necessarily think, Powell's already been, I don't think that he has to worry about who's president as far as getting reappointed. But I don't even know that he wants to be reappointed. It's a long job, tough job. So anyway, I've been on here for 25 minutes. You all do me a favor. I did go deep today. I tried to stay organized. Ron, first and foremost, I definitely appreciate all that you bring to the table and the conversation. I'd like to have you on live a little bit more so we can banter back and forth. If today was helpful for you, please let me know in the comments, breaking it down. If the forecast was helpful, if what we're going on all that stuff, let me know in the comments. I live for the kudos. You guys know that I don't do this for money. If you do want to support us for money, definitely check us out at originatorssuccess.com. Not because you're providing us with charity, but because we can get you loans from, and help you to grow. And as we go into this new market, you're going to need all the services we provide. You're going to want to stay in front of clients and that kind of a thing. So definitely check us out there. In fact, I should probably, let me see if I can find it real quick and I'll show you something. I know this won't make a tremendous amount of sense. It will for some of you more than others. That are members will especially get it. So every month at Originator Success, one of the things that we do is we send out a monthly keep in touch campaign. It's a newsletter for all of your warm contacts, past clients, and everything else. Inside of that, we actually have a section where they can opt in to get the weekly mortgage market update, the forecast, right? And when that happens, we send a notification to our members and say, hey, you have somebody who has opted in to receive this. So Julie Swenson, longtime member, you can see this was July 2nd. We sent that out on July 1st on Monday. And she said, I have 7 new signups for my new weekly mortgage report from today's newsletter. Awesome job. What does this mean? It means 7 people. And there's a reason I'm showing you this. Number one, because yes, it does show you that, hey, we can help you, right? But the other reason that I'm showing this to you is because what this does is this means 7 people in her list opted in to learn to because they want to be kept updated on mortgage rates. Why are they doing that? Well, it's a lead opportunity. It's somebody that wants to refinance, somebody that's thinking about buying a house. We're seeing more of these. We've been doing this for over a year. We measure the number of things that are happening here, and we see more people opting in for this. That's telling us that there's an appetite in the market. Okay. So, we help you to generate leads and do things. I'm certainly not going to pretend like that's not one of the reasons I'm showing you this, but I'm also sharing this with everybody to show you this gives us like awesome data that we can see consumer behavior. Because this newsletter goes out to 200,000 people, because it's going out on behalf of hundreds of originators, went out to over 200,000 people. And we saw hundreds, I'm not exaggerating, hundreds of people opt in to learn more about mortgage rates every week. They have to go in and enter their information. They don't just click a button. All right. So we know that these are people who actually want to be opted in. And these are new opt-ins, not the ones from the month before and the month before. So we have seen literally, it's been over 1,000 people that have been opting in. The market is turning. Okay. The market is turning. So keep that in mind. There's a lot to be hopeful for as we head into the second half of 2024 and as we move into 2025. So, all right, my friends, I've been on for almost a half an hour. It's time for me to shut up. Tomorrow I'll be coming to you from the road. I'm leaving this afternoon. We're heading up to Michigan to visit family, and I will be from the road from the hotel. It'll be a lot shorter tomorrow, I promise. So I can't tell how many people are on until I see the analytics. It's not showing me again. It's one of their glitches. I'll have to mess with it, but I usually get to see how many people are on all the different channels, and I don't get to see that necessarily right this moment. So anyway, I hope I use that to tell when I've been talking too long, because I watch it start to drop off. So y'all have a fantastic day. I'll see you tomorrow. And so glad we could spend the time together. Take care. Bye-bye.